I'm Professor M.L. Robinson with the University of Nevada College of Extension. Today we're going to be talking about houseplants, and in particular repotting of houseplants and why we do. Houseplants are an important part of both our homes, hence the name houseplants or interior plants, and the places that we work and visit, maybe like at a mall. The reason that they're so important is that they clean the air, they give us a really happy, nice place to work or live, and they do a lot of beneficial things, but they do need our care. Why do we replant or repot? Well, plants, number one, will outgrow their containers that they're living in. They have a limited root area when they're not in the ground in a container. Sometimes we buy plants that need to be repotted as soon as we buy them. This Boston fern is a good example. By the time it makes it to market, they are too big really to be sustained in our dry interior scapes very easily. And so it's always good to step them up into the next size pot soon after we get them so that we can more easily keep them irrigated. Of course, outgrowing their container is another aspect. I have here a root system of a root-bound plant, and you can see the roots were not only around the outside, but all the way through into the center. This plant also has roots that are growing over the top and potentially around the trunk. And so there need to be some root pruning. Most of the time, we just want the plant to grow a little larger. Another reason that we may want to repot is the type of soil that we find the plant growing in. I have this large Dracaena here, and if you look closely at the potting mix, it is mostly volcanic rock. That tells me that it's going to drain very rapidly. So this plant is in a small pot. It's a tall plant. We need to repot it into a next step up so that it will have more room and more organic matter in the soil for the roots. So we found a plant that we like. We've been growing it for some time, and now it needs to be moved up into a larger container. I have a little aglaonemia. Used to be called Chinese Evergreen plant. They come in different colors. In fact, I was recently in Florida, and they have some with pink and yellow in the leaves now, and so adding more color. This is a typical green one, and so what I want to do is I want to carefully remove it from the pot. I want to check the roots. We always want to check the roots, and nice white roots, as we see here, is a good indication that they're alive. This isn't really root bound, so it could possibly go a little longer. If we have any roots that might be circling, we want to take and just make a few cuts here. That's always good. And before we plant them in, so I don't do a lot of fertilization on houseplants because they can get a lot of their nutrients simply from the new soil that we continually put in. And remember, soil decomposes. The organic matter turns into carbon dioxide, and so we lose some of the soil. It just kind of evaporates there, so to speak, and it compacts, and you lose the nutrients. So we want to add some. I like a nice slow-release fertilizer. There's several on the market. This is a commercially available one, and I just put it in the pot. I can either add some soil on top, or I can just get in there with my hands, and it's nice. If you got dirt under your fingernails, that shows that you're a real gardener. And so just kind of mix it up. Research at the University of Florida several years ago found that nursery plants with a slow release put in the bottom of a pot before a new plant is put in from a smaller to larger container will grow and get the nutrients much faster. Okay, now we're ready. We've clipped the roots, we've checked them, they look healthy and strong. We can take off any dead foliage. It's a good time to spruce them up. We put it in. Now we have enough space between the roots and the pot, and we can start adding potting soil. Don't scrimp on the price of potting soil. Buy the very best that you can find at your nursery, and you want to make sure it drains well. How can I tell if it drains well? Put it in a pot, pour water in it, see how fast it drains out. You want one that drains well but holds moisture for a while. Now, go around with your hands and kind of compact it in. You can wear gloves if you're worried about getting soil or dirt under your fingernails. Push it down with your hands, but don't compact it, because roots will only grow when there are three things present: nutrients, water, and oxygen. If you pack it too hard, you lose a lot of that porosity for the air, and the plants really need them. Once you have it in, water it in, make sure the soil is nice and moist, it drains out well, and your plant will be happy for another year or two, and will reward you. If you take good care of them, they'll let you know by rewarding you with a little growth and a lot of beauty in your interior. I'm M.L. Robinson, professor with the University of Nevada College of Extension.